Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Vibram Birdie Bash question and answer center for the 2015 Vibram Birdie Bashes. I'm your host and moderator here tonight, Terry Miller, the disc golf guy, and of course we have the ever so pretty Steve Dodge of Vibram Disc Golf. How are we doing tonight, Steve?
We're doing great, Terry. How are you doing?
Pretty super duper, I think. We're about to get this party started. There's quite a few people out there. They want answers, and well, if you don't give them to them, I'm going to make stuff up. How's that sound?
I'm sure. Wow. Okay, that's fantastic. Sorry, I had about 3 feeds coming into my head, but I'm okay, and I'm happy having you make stuff up, or I can answer stuff too.
Okay. All right. Is there any particular style or format? I mean, obviously some questions have come in. That's a good place to start. And then do we want to maybe get through these, and then as maybe more questions come up, we answer them? How's that sound?
I think that sounds like a great solution. And on the back end, are we going to be able to do a quick reply to those and let people know at what time in this podcast the questions were answered?
That sounds like a lot of work by either you or I, but or maybe a amazing volunteer out there.
Maybe Johnny V could do it.
He just left. So
let's get to the first question.
Okay. No, I'm not kidding. He really left. All right. First question that came in on the board here was from Michael S. I have a player who has registered now but wants to change their disc selection. What's the best way to help them with this?
They can either go through the submission the contact form on the Vibram on birdiebash.com and ask to change their discs, or you can simply email me or Aaron Tivnan at Greenlight Disc Golf and have either of us change their discs. We are the people that have to make that change, and I'll go ahead and extrapolate or add a little bit to that. Within 1 week of registration being cut off, we do not make any more changes because we've started picking the players packs already, and so to avoid errors on fulfillment, within 1 week of registration being cut off, we won't change any discs.
So essentially 2 weeks before the event?
Correct.
Okay. So that's a good way to put it. All right. Thank you, Michael. Trisha Lafferty asks, it would be great if or maybe states, it would be great if the TDs could purchase extra Vibram swag or discs for Ring of Fire or CTPs. This could be taken out of the profit money and sent along with the players packs? ?
Trisha, thank you for asking that. I think that's a great question. It is something that is not available this year. We have a new fulfillment partner this year and a new registration partner, and rather than incorporate an additional layer where we could make some mistakes, we opted to not do that this year. It was recommended last year as well. My hope is to nail it this year as far as fulfillment and registration goes and incorporate that exact thing next year. So thank you for the reminder of the great idea, and I hope to do that next year.
Okay. Trisha's a busy bee, by the way. She also asks, since Am Worlds is in the same location as the Vibram Birdie Bash finals, lodging may be tough. Are there any special accommodations available with the VBB or for the VBB?
With and for. The short answer is no. However, whatever the accommodations are for Am Worlds, if you're going up there, we make it fairly simple just to add a few days on the front end, and you'll be able to participate in both events.
Okay. Trisha also asks, if the winner of our local Birdie Bash is not able to attend the World Championships Birdie Bash, are we able to send an alternative in their place?
I feel like I'm slapping Trisha down on all of these answers because the answer to that is no.
Oh.
My apologies, Trisha. However, I'll throw you a little bit of a carrot here. We are saying yes to the winner of each division. So it's the men's, women, and junior winners all can earn spots, as well as the tournament director.
Okay. This one came into you via email, I'm guessing, Steve. Does the event have to be 2 rounds of play?
I'm going to say it clearly does not have to be 2 rounds of play, because I am conducting 3 one-round Birdie Bash minis at Bowling Green AMs. So on the Wednesday and Thursday before Bowling Green. So clearly it doesn't have to be. If you're doing a 1-round mini Birdie Bash, you need to make it very clear on the registration page so that when people sign up, they know what they're getting into. I wouldn't want an event to be a 2-round event and then switch after some people have registered. So that's a possibility as long as everybody knows what's going on beforehand.
All right. Can a player order more than 1 player pack? If so, can that same player use more than 1 player pack in the event?
Wow. No, I think there's 2. I heard 2 questions, being a mathematician there. Well, actually, I heard 3 questions. The first question: can somebody order multiple player packs? I guess you could, in theory, sign up. I could sign up Steve Dodge A and Steve Dodge B. And then at the event, I would not be able to play the event twice.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So I couldn't.
Okay.
And and I also, in theory, I'd have 4 discs, and then I can only pick 2 discs to use, is the short version of this answer. And I can't play the event twice because I registered twice.
Okay.
Although I suspect it, maybe Paul Macbeth wishes he had signed up twice for the memorial.
Hey-o.
So that he could have thrown twice anyway.
Had 2 bags?
Yeah.
All right. So that being said, can a player order more than 1, and can the same player? So then I'm going to throw another question, which I think you just answered, but just to clarify, you could order 2 sets of players packs. You could have player pack A and player pack B. Whatever player pack you start the tournament with is the one you need to also finish with. You need to use 1 player pack consistently throughout. So you couldn't pick a driver and a putter first round, and then your other player pack consisted of a driver and a mid-range and a putter. You couldn't switch to that for the second round, even though you've bought 2. So you need to be honest and legit and only right. So is that all clear?
Absolutely.
Okay. What about 3 player packs? No, I'm just kidding. All right.
Actually, let's use this to talk a little bit more about player packs. Last year we offered an optional 3rd disc. This year we do not offer that. We again a case of simplicity. That was a place where we made some errors, and we wanted to get rid of that. We wanted to nail it this year, so we got rid of the 3rd disc. We also don't have the option of the fairway drivers. The ascent and track are not included as options for discs. The reason for that is we're focusing on the distance drivers this year. And then we went ahead and threw in the mid-ranges because some people pointed out they have very short courses and distance drivers don't make sense on those courses. So that is the reason that the ascent and track are not available.
Alrighty. Since this is an event where a lot of new players may be coming out for the first time, does it make sense to have in place normal tournament and event items like Mandos, OB, Ace Pots, and Mulligans?
Let's start with that in reverse order so that I have time to forget about the Mandos and OBs. Mulligans, someone asked that question a few years ago, and we decided that you could sell Mulligans in the first round, but in the second round, when the bigger prize is on the line, we felt it was not fair to sell Mulligans. So if you want to raise some additional funds, you can sell Mulligans, but please only do it in the first round. Regarding all of the other things, OB and Mandos, in my opinion, I wouldn't change the course any. I wouldn't make it any harder by throwing in those rules. But if the course is designed with Mandos and OBs, absolutely go ahead and use them.
Okay. Good. I would just like to hear any best-known methods from past and experienced TDs on things I can or should do, this being my first Birdie Bash I'm hosting. Well, being here is the first start to that, right, Steve? Being here, listening in.
Listening in, asking your questions, reading the FAQs. Terry, have you ever run a Birdie Bash?
Of course. Yeah, a couple of them.
Do you want to chime in and give him some best practices?
Yeah, that's a good question. Man, you guys have made it so easy for starters. I remember stressing a few years ago, and then I opened up the box finally that morning, and everything was there. It was laid out. It was packaged. If Joe came to play, there was Joe's discs like in a pack, which was awesome. So we didn't have to sift through any of that. And I've run so many tournaments. I guess I don't even think about.
I apologize for putting you on the spot there. You just expected to be the happy face, just asking the questions. I shouldn't have.
No, I'm just trying to think, like,
unfair of me.
There's so few challenges to it in terms of, make sure you have a leaderboard. I mean, that's maybe one of the few things you don't provide. So I would say
Sharpies.
Yeah, you don't provide Sharpies. Pencils come along probably, I would assume.
Pencils and scorecards are there.
Yeah, so a leaderboard.
Thing that I would do. The one thing that I would recommend to a prospective TD, especially a first-time TD, we have an instructions sheet. I think it's a 3-page instruction sheet, and it goes through and says how you sign up the event, how you encourage people to come to the event, what you say at the players' meeting, what you do in between rounds, how you get ready for awards, how you do awards, take a picture of the winners. Everything is laid out step by step in that instruction manual. So if I was a new TD, I would just read that instruction manual. If I had any questions, I'd post them over there in the chat box and hopefully get them up before we're done.
Okay, good idea. Do TDs need to sign up if they want to play?
Yes, absolutely. We do not assume that TDs play. I've TD'd many events for the last 30 years. And over the course of the last decade, I've basically decided if I'm TDing an event, I personally don't want to play in the event. It's difficult for me to concentrate on the event, and I'd rather make sure I nail the event and do a good job. If I want to play, I'll go play somebody else's event. But having said that, a lot of TDs who are experienced TDs can run a Birdie Bash very easily. So if you want to play, by all means, you have to sign up and tell us what discs you want and what your shirt size is.
Okay. John.
And pay for your player pack.
Yes, John Doe. My event may only have 2 junior level players. If they play on a card with adults, does each set of juniors and adults get 1 point for being closest to the basket if no points are taken?
That is a great question. I would have to say that the way the rules are laid out is it's per card, not per division per card. So if nobody on the card scores, then the closest to the pin after all legal throws gets a point. If one of the juniors scores, then the people in the other division are not going to get a point, and vice versa.
Hopefully somebody's scoring on every hole, though, right?
You would hope, but it's not always the case. The Birdie Bash is designed for beginner players, and we want to make sure that they feel welcome. And we've gone ahead and expanded the scoring opportunities so that everybody has an opportunity to score on every hole.
That's what they say. More ways to score, the better. If you know what I mean.
That's right. Everyone's a winner.
Yeah. Not in life, though. All right. John Doe also writes, will a ruler or measuring tool of some sort be included on the holes where the closest gets 1 point, or do we provide that ourselves?
No, there's nothing is provided to measure. If people need to, they can step it off.
Isn't that a movie? Step It Up.
Step It Off?
Step It Up. I don't know.
I think that was Fight Club.
Okay. Will the VBB championships be Birdie Bash format or standard play?
They will be the Birdie Bash format. However, the course I'm hoping is going to be you can actually speak to the course at Coldbrook.
Coldbrook, yes.
It is going to. We are going to let the people at the championships choose 3 discs. They're going to be able to choose a distance driver, a mid-range, and a putter.
Okay. For any of those that don't know, Coldbrook is a very tight and wooded course. on a majority. I don't. Do you know if are you planning on 18 holes or 24 hole layout? Have you or 20?
It's going to depend on the quantity of people.
Okay.
My default is 18. If we get more than 30 people, maybe we'll go to extra holes.
Okay. For the most part, though, there are, wow, I'd say probably 16 of the holes at least are under 300 feet. And then there's maybe 4 that are 300 to 400 feet. And then there's at most 4 that are over 400. I don't even know if there's that many. So it's a very tight and technical course. Very tight on some of those holes. So it's one of my favorites, which doesn't mean a lot to most people.
The only question I would have about the course is whether or not it's tight.
Yeah, or technical. All right.
Okay.
I'm a big fan personally, but we're not going to talk about my Glow World Championships won there in 2008. All right. Jay Warren asks, as there will be new players in our bash, do you have any suggestions for changing tee positions on our par 3 course? Should some of our longer shots in the 300s be shortened?
That is a TD decision. Some TDs don't change the length. Some TDs do. We provide marker flags in case you want to change the lengths of some tees. And in addition to possibly changing a tee, if you have a hole that's 380 feet and you're thinking about shortening it to 300 feet or so, another option, if it's a tight technical 380-foot shot, you could change it to a par 4. So you can either move a tee forward or you can raise the par. You're the TD. You can decide, how the course is going to be played that day.
Would you say that's an overall theme with the Birdie Bash, is that the TDs have a lot of liberty to do as they see fit?
Absolutely. We're not gonna come down on anybody and say you did the thing wrong. The entire goal of this is to ideally bring out new players and get them into the disc golf scene, which is ironically disc golf scene is the people that do on the registration.
Oh.
And then, but where was I? Oh, and then if a TD wants to incorporate a mulligan or they want to move some tees, by all means. The goal is to make it fun, engaging, get new players there, teach people about the Spirit Award, and the top guy, we want to get him over to World Championships.
I'm going to interject another question here. At the World Championships, which is going to be the Amateur and Junior World Championships hosted by the Professional Disc Golf Association, would a professional player still be eligible, as in a 980, 1,000, 1,020 rated player? Would they be eligible to still compete at the Vibram Birdie Bash Championships?
I'm under the impression the event is an XC tier, and I think it was booked as an amateur event, but I don't know that for sure. In my opinion, yes. If for example, Terry Miller, I assume you're 10-12 rated, if Terry Miller won an event, he is absolutely invited to come to the Vibram Birdie Bash World Championships.
That's going to bring up my next question. If it is, in fact, CXC tier sanctioned by the PDGA, do I need to be a PDGA member, and or will there be an additional fee if I'm not?
You do not need to be a PDGA member because it's a C tier, and there will be an extra fee that Vibram will pick up. So it's the way this is going to work. There's going to be a $50 registration fee when you say yes, I'm coming, and then we will get your player pack ready. When you check in, you will get that $50 back, and then we will pay any necessary PDGA fees on top of that.
That seems awfully nice of you.
We are very nice.
So it's free.
Yes.
Plus free discs.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff going on that weekend. We want to grow this into another Vibram, very special Vibram event, along the line of the Maple Hill Open and the Birdie Bash as a whole. We want the Birdie Bash World Championships to be another huge Vibram event that people look forward to.
Okay. Who gets to stay in Steve's room during the Maple Hill Open?
That has yet to be determined.
No, I think you're wrong.
Usually it goes to the highest bidder. And I think last year you put up the buck 237. So
okay. Trisha writes, hey. That's a little out. Anthony Jones said, hello all. Anthony, glad you're here tonight. Now back to those are all questions that actually came in before the show started. So I'm going to try and copy and paste a few things here so I can keep some notes for you. All right. Man, you did not tell me I'd be doing work. I don't know what is going on here. Jay Warren says, hey guys. Chase H says, game time. All right. Chase also says, I notice both of you have impeccable facial hair. Is that a requirement for excelling at the Vibram Birdie Bash? Great question, Chase.
I would say yes.
I mean,
except maybe not in the junior division.
And that might be weird. Okay.
I hope somebody notices that I left out the women's division just to be funny.
All right.
But if
so,
you don't,
yeah, and hence my co-host, my normal co-host, would be horrible. He couldn't grow facial hair ever. So, all right. And I know this is a big part for you, Steve. So this is a great question. Could you explain the Spirit Award?
Wow, that is a great question.
That's what we're here for.
The Spirit Award, I started playing disc back in the late 80s with a bunch of hippies in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And I used the term hippies in a very loving way. Through them, I learned that disc is an accepting sport. It's a sport where you compete with glory and honor, and it's a sport where you compete with your competitors as opposed to against your competitors. The concept of cheering great shots. At the Memorial, when Jeremy Colling hit that huge putt, he was very pumped and very excited to have hit that shot. When Paul hit his putt, Jeremy was just as excited. It was fantastic seeing Jeremy being the first person to congratulate Paul on hitting that huge putt. In my opinion, right there, that's Jeremy showing what spirit is. Playing with your opponent, not against him. You're not rooting for him to miss. You're rooting for yourself to succeed. If you go to the VibramDiscGolf.com website or just Google Vibram Blog Spirit Award, you'll see a nice write-up that I did that talks about the Spirit Award and why it means so much to me. It's basically the reason that I love this sport.
Tonight's perfect night for you to show.
Okay.
You got no gas.
Cute. So Matthew Gudger says, small town, course is less than 2 years old. Any ideas on how to get more newbies out to play?
Off the top of my head, I would say the easiest thing to do would be to go to the course on a weekend and hang out and meet people and tell them about the event. Maybe have an iPad and sign them up right there. That would be the easiest way to do it. Tell them, $30 gets you a couple discs and a shirt, and you get to meet a bunch of other people that are playing disc golf. It's a very low-key, low-pressure, high-fun event, and we want you there. That's if there's a group of people that you don't know that play disc golf, the only way to get them to come to your event is to meet them.
And then I'm going to follow that up with a personal softball for you, which is, do you have tools and assets and things if I'm not graphically talented or computer gifted? Is there anything that somebody could do?
Thank you for that softball, Terry. I should have mentioned that. Yes, if you go to the birdiebash.com, underneath the tournament director's page, there is a I don't even know what we call it, but it has the posters and it has the social media badges and pictures and things like that. And you can personalize those and print them up and put them everywhere.
Can I host more than one Birdie Bash at
Yes.
one course?
Yes.
So I could host
Yes.
one per month for 3 straight months.
Absolutely. In fact, just to demonstrate the answer to your question, I am hosting 3 Birdie Bashes in a day and a half in Bowling Green. They're all mini Birdie Bashes, and one of them is at 2 o'clock on Wednesday. Then I'm holding another one at 10 o'clock on Thursday and another one at 2 o'clock on Thursday, all on the same course, consecutive days. So, and we have other towns that have Birdie Bashes on the same weekend at concurrent courses. So, yes, absolutely. The players will decide which event they want to go to, and everybody should go and have fun.
Chase has chimed in with, can someone still register to run a Vibram Birdie Bash this year if they are not signed up to do so, or has the TD registration window closed?
That is a great question. The TD registration window has not closed. You just need to give us 6 weeks notice. So let's pretend it's the beginning of March, and you wanted to run an event in mid to late April. That would be okay. You can sign up right now for an event in mid to late April and all the way through May, and that'll be fine. We ask for 6 weeks so that that gives us 1 week to ship, and then that gives you 4 or 5 weeks to promote the event. So, yeah, people can still sign up events.
All right. Jay Warren writes, for clarity's sake, I don't know who Clarity is.
Clarity? Is she one of the...
Sure. Anyway, Claire Dunphy. If someone hits...
she was in the Matrix, right?
If someone hits metal and sinks the birdie, what would the point value be? If they hit metal on the first shot, then sink the birdie shot, what would the point value be there? I think he wanted to be double clear, so he asked it twice.
Well, the first, it would be difficult to get a birdie and not hit any metal.
But they're saying, what if he hits...
I know.
Okay.
Sorry, Terry.
Sorry, I'm not kidding.
On your first, anytime you hit metal, you get a point, and anytime you get a birdie, you get 2 points. So if on your drive you hit metal, you get that point, and then let's say you smash the birdie, and you get the 2 points. So you get the 2 points plus 1 point, so you get a total of 3 points.
Okay. And would you be smashing the birdie, or would you be bashing the birdie at that point? I think you bash it, wouldn't you?
I think you smash it in the basket box.
What about the SmashBoxx whole preview?
Yeah, I think every Birdie Bash is going to have a live SmashBoxx representation. Is that true? You're going to all of these events?
Let's talk numbers.
That is. Let's go ahead and throw a tangent on here. Mm-hmm. You will be at the World Championships, if I'm not mistaken.
If your check's not bouncing, we'll be there. Mistaken.
Fantastic. So
no, yes.
The Vibram Birdie Bash World Championships will be covered live by SmashBoxx, and that's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm really excited. Again, I happen to know the course, so it'll be fun to watch other people play it. It'll be fun to record it. It'll be fun to put it out there live, and I feel like it's going to be a little less stressful than, say, the National Tour event we just covered. So I think it should be a lot of fun for the players, and I'm looking forward to being there and presenting it to the world as well. It definitely should be a really good time. So yes, it will be covered live both days. How many days are there? 6?
Yeah, 2 days.
Oh, 2 days.
2 days, 5 rounds.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. It's 2 days, 3 rounds with a final 9.
2 days, 3 rounds plus a final 9. Okay.
Yeah.
All in Kalamazoo, Michigan, where the amateur and junior world championships are taking place. Technically, the course is in off exit 88 in Climax, Michigan. So look for that in July. What's the exact date? Just to clarify, I'll put that down there as a question. What's the exact date?
I believe it's July 18th and 19th.
Ooh, I don't think my wife is gonna like that on her birthday. Maybe I could get her to come play. Probably not.
So I've said that I tend to not play events that I TD, but who knows? I might just decide to play that one just because it's being covered live.
So my additional question would be, if I host one or play in one of these and I happen to win myself, is there a way I could cover it and play in it? Because that would be fun.
Yeah,
You want to walk?
absolutely. I assume you'll be on the lead card.
I wouldn't assume that, but all right, because I may seriously try.
We'd love to have you out there covering it and doing the live commentary as you throw.
Mic'd up, I think is what we'd have to do. We'd get all mic'd up for it.
Would you talk in like the ball golf whispers while you were putting about how hard your putt was?
Like creeping, I'm lining up a 28-footer right now.
I think that's a bush light that
This is a really tough putt.
Yeah, I'm gonna straddle. No, I don't know.
Terry has a. I'd love to hear you say something like Terry has a history of missing these left.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. SETI, we're not going to put this in the show notes, but wants to know, did the show start early, or am I in that weird time-lapse thing again? And SETI, you are right where... I think you're in the wrong show, actually. You're probably looking for our normal podcast tonight. And I know you're a big fan, so we're glad you could be here. We're talking Vibram Birdie Bash with Steve Dodge. But you're probably in the wrong show. I'm guessing Jordan Castro. Yes, you were wondering the same thing. You again. You guys are in the wrong show, but glad you could join us. Go out and sign up today to run a Vibram Birdie Bash. Contact Steve Dodge at birdiebash.com. All right. This is not the Memorial Wrap-Up Show. Correct, guys. Thanks. All right. And with that being said, we're caught up on the questions, unfortunately. Do we have...
I appreciate it, Terry. I'm sorry about that. I'm really excited to see you out in Kalamazoo. I'm very excited to make the Vibram Birdie Bash World Championship something absolutely special and memorable. It's going to be a celebration of disc golf. It's going to be a celebration of the Birdie Bash and of the things that make the whole thing fun. We're going to have Spirit Awards. We'll have live coverage. We will have insane player packs. We'll have a great players party and buffet. And it's a free event to all people who win their Birdie Bashes as well as TDs.
Was that a polite way of you just answering my next question, which is saying, what do I win? What will the Vibram Birdie Bash champion win?
Maybe this would be a great little wrap up. Maybe that was what my answer to your preemptive question was. What do you win at the World Championships?
Mm-hmm. What will the world champion in each division? I'll extrapolate that out.
I have made up banners for the winners so that they can take them home and hang them in front of their televisions.
Okay.
And there will probably be multiple handshakes.
Really?
Yeah, I've got two hands.
Okay. That's fair enough. Another question came in from Eric here. Eric Anderson, long-time watcher, first-time questioner. If someone wins their division and goes to the Vibram Birdie Bash Championship, will a shirt be provided, or... Don't leave me hanging. Is there more to that? Let me...
Is there some concern about having a lack of shirts?
I'm worried if Eric just is a fan of playing shirtless, but he that's where he left it. Will a shirt be provided, or I'm not sure what the alternative is to that, Eric.
My guess is that in the Vibram Birdie Bash World Championship player pack there will be a shirt.
Okay, so somebody could be getting a second shirt here. I guess they're going to be getting more than just a shirt. The player pack is going to be, we're having a lot of fun trying to put it together and make sure it's really special. Okay. And yes, Eric, you must provide your own pants, shorts, and undergarments. So those will not be provided by Vibram Birdie Bash. Trisha says, a comment, the PDGA Pro World's Vibram discs were beautiful. Thank you so much for those.
You're very welcome. I'm glad, and I agree.
Okay, so Eric, I'm not trying to be as big of a jerk as I usually am, but he clarified. Or do they need to bring their one from their VBB? No, Eric, you will get another Vibram Birdie Bash shirt if you make it to the championships. What does that commercial say with Flo? Only shirts are for winners, or sprinkles are for winners. But you'll get a shirt. You'll get another shirt if you make it to the
I think
championships.
I think she says coffee is for closers.
Coffee. And I thought she said only sprinkles. Winners get sprinkles.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. But I would say to Eric's point, I would say bring your Vibram Birdie Bash shirt from your event, and where it's a 2-day event. You need a shirt for both days.
Yes.
So and utilize the shirt that we give you at the World Championship, so you're covered for both days.
Very great insight, Steve. I like that. I would also suggest bringing 2 fresh pairs of socks, so you have one for each day. Or maybe someone could either try out or possibly get themselves a pair of 5 fingers while they're there, or something. There may be some on site.
Okay, that's great. That's a good thing for you to say out loud. We will be having a lot of extra prizes there. Some of the extra prizes will be, we're going to be giving out 12 spots on the Vibram tester team.
Okay.
There is a good chance that we will be giving out some 5 fingers, probably on the order of 12 also. And I'm actually in the process of collecting some very cool prototypes and other collectible Vibram discs. I have a neat stack in my office that will be going to the World Championship. So people who collect Vibram discs will be very excited for some of the offerings that we have up there.
Very sweet. Another question that I just made up was, will this impact the practice and play that's going to be others that are going to be there practicing for the Amateur Worlds? How will this event impact those competitors?
Well, I can't see any way that it would have any impact on any players at any of the other courses.
Okay. All right. I see what you did there. You told people to go play elsewhere. Will Vibram have here's another one for you from me. Will Vibram have a booth at the Fly Mart probably Tuesday night, I'm guessing it is? Will Vibram be there?
Absolutely. We will be there. Yeah, and we're proud sponsors of Am Worlds. This is not Vibram trying to grab some sort of limelight without supporting the bigger goals of disc golf and growing the sport. We're definitely going to be at Am Worlds. This is basically our way of introducing ourselves to the Am Worlds crowd before Am Worlds, and then when Am Worlds kicks in, we're going to be there in full force.
Do you have any idea roughly how many Vibram Birdie Bashes are currently signed up and ready to go right now?
We're closing in on 200. We hit 200 last year, and when we throw in the European events, which will be online, I believe, in May and June, we're going to easily eclipse last year's total.
If I were to win a Vibram Birdie Bash and then go to another event and win a Vibram Birdie Bash, would I have 2 entries into the World Championships?
Yes,
and would I get 2 player packs?
Now, the interesting thing, this question, you bring up a very good question.
I know.
And I have told, of course, I have told some players this. If you win a Birdie Bash and you go to another one, you can tell the TD before the event that you are not competing in the Birdie Bash proper. You're competing to win all those little local prizes and that jazzmatazz. But if you tell the TD beforehand, I don't want to compete in the real Birdie Bash that's going on right here to win that top spot, you have to tell them before the event starts. But in that case, somebody else would win other than you.
And would that be, are you saying that in general, or only you could declare that if you've already become a champion elsewhere, or if you just really know you can't make it, could you defer right off right out of the gate as well?
You could defer right out of the gate as well if you really know you cannot make it. But and we have had, there's one tournament director who thinks that he's going to win his event, and he says, but I don't want to compete for the spot. And I've told him, just tell everybody beforehand that you're not playing the Birdie Bash for real.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Who was that person? That sounds like your long-haired friend out in Jersey.
That's Terry Miller?
No. Terry Miller from the 90s? No. That sounds like a B.O.B. Bob Graham kind of.
It does sound like something Bob would do. But he wouldn't presume he's going to win.
No, but he could anyway. Why aren't the socks for 5 fingers? I'd rock them in shorts.
That is the truth. That's a really good point.
A Bach. All right, guys, we're nearing the end of this amazing experience, and I would suggest if you have any other questions that I haven't either made up or you haven't submitted already, we'd love to hear them. Are there any? Jake Morris says, is there any minimum skill level to play in the championships? And that
No.
you just gotta win to get there. And maybe that's another. I'm gonna follow that up. That's a good question, Jake. I'm gonna follow that up as, are there any on-site qualifying and or buy-ins to get yourself into that championships?
To be determined. The goal is to get on the order of 72 players. If we end up that only 58 people can make the trip, there's a possibility that we might open registration up to people who have competed in Birdie Bashes and done well. I don't know how we would figure all that out. And there would be another opportunity for people that are playing Am Worlds that might want to pop over and play to come over and qualify the day before. But my goal would be to at least fill it and get 72 players. If the course goes up to 24, we could have up to 120 people on the course for a Birdie Bash. So we have a pretty wide range of what fill would be. But my goal is to get at least 72. So if we haven't hit that and the date's fast approaching, we might open it up.
Okay. Thank you, Jake. For what it's worth, we currently have 41 people. Again, I guess some of these might be the memorial or the next podcast crowd, but any other?
If this goes on for 45 to 50 more minutes, do you think maybe we could boost that number?
Yes, I think we would thoroughly confuse people as to why we're talking about Birdie Bashes.
When you keep mentioning memorial, what is this memorial?
I don't know, some little tournament that once started, and this is a crazy fact. The memorial, I think 27 years ago, started as one of the original Vibram Birdie Bash events, and it just kind of continued to grow and morph into this 600-person, $50,000 event. So it's pretty amazing where it started.
Back then, it was called a disc duel. But yeah, it was a Vibram disc duel, and jewel was too hard to pronounce, so we ended up changing the name back in the 90s.
Good call. I do have a question to follow that up. Are there going to be any new releases to that players should be looking forward to from Vibram that will be included in these players packs potentially?
At the World Championships, yes. At the standard Birdie Bashes, no.
Okay.
And I'm not going to talk a lot more about what those are going to be. Although I have announced maybe with you, I don't know if I announced it with you or not, but we're coming out with a material that floats in water. And so we will have all of our discs available and weights down to 125 grams, which is going to be really exciting. We'll be the first company to have a complete line of floating discs.
Okay, I'll give you that.
you can try.
Even if I know otherwise, I won't. We'll go with that. All right. Anyone else have?
I don't think all lightning discs float.
Well, I guess it's hard to determine what classifies as a complete line. Like meaning every disc you make floats, or there's a driver, a mid-range, a putter, and a fairway that all float. Like
no, our complete line will float.
Okay. What if you had only 3 discs in your lineup and those all floated?
Good luck.
So that'd be a complete line that floats.
For that company, it would be.
Okay. Gosh, man. If somebody wanted to volunteer for the Maple Hill Open Championships event, what do they need to do?
Go to maplehillopen.com and click on the support button and sign up for the staff.
Okay.
And if somebody wants to sponsor the tournament, they can go to the same place and buy a tee sign. $40 tee sign.
Wow, that sounds like a good deal. Are there any national sponsors that have been lined up regarding the Birdie Bash?
Besides Vibram?
Besides Vibram.
No, it's Vibram controls the whole event. We don't have any national sponsors other than us.
Okay.
There are some TDs that have local sponsors. There are some Birdie Bashes that are presented by, the local insurance company or Jake's Car Clean. So that has happened, but not nationally.
Would you recommend or allow a tournament director to host a Vibram Birdie Bash in conjunction possibly with another manufacturer's game?
Well, in our event, they have to use our discs.
Correct, but
So,
if
for
someone were
example,
running, say,
A Birdie Bash and an ace race.
sure.
So they'd throw their Vibram disc, and then they'd throw the other disc and try to get an ace, and then they'd go and throw another Vibram disc.
Yeah, something of, basically joining.
Just for the sake of making things as confusing as possible, I think that I would encourage that.
Okay. Good. Anthony says, I want to say thank you. I learned a lot from my first event TD. Glad to hear it, Anthony. And Tricia says, thanks so much for the Q&A. This is kind of your last chance, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're going to make a closing call pretty soon here. The DG Beat is just tuning in, chatting with Steve until 7. Well, I guess it depends on what time zone you're in. No, we're going to be wrapping up with Steve here very shortly.
10 and a half hours away, so no.
Man, I don't think I have any more questions for you, Steve.
No, we're all done.
Let's see if anyone else does. This was fun.
It was painfully easy to do.
If someone wanted to see the archive of all of this footage, what should they do, Steve?
Call Terry at SmashBox and ask him where it is.
Okay. Yeah, actually, this will be all available, both in a podcast, audio-only version. So go out and find it on Stitcher or iTunes or any of those normal podcast systems. So if you want to listen to this while you're driving, possibly to host your event, some of those answers might be a little too late at that point, but you could listen to it. And this is immediately archived here in our SmashBox repository, I guess, and right here on YouTube. So, and what I'm going to try to do, and I this won't be perfect, but what I will try to do is I made a note of where each question was asked, roughly within 5 or 10 seconds of it, and I can post that in the notes, in the comments, or in the notes or comment section. And that way, if there was a specific question, such as I see Chase asked at roughly 25 minutes and 30 seconds, can someone still register this year, so on and so forth, you can kind of skip to that point in the actual broadcast. So that'll kind of give you a reference point for each.
Are you going to include a reference point where you talk about the fact that the reference points are in there?
I should
Would that be one of the reference points?
I should go back to the future and somehow insert that and let people know. Matthew Gudger says, we are looking at holding a skills competition between rounds. Any limitations on discs?
No. Do whatever you want. Make it fun.
We just want to hear that F word. Make it fun. Matthew. Fun.
Hey Johnny, you missed the facial hair comment earlier.
He's saying you missed a great question came in from the board asking if you have to have impeccable facial hair as Steve and I do, and then I gently ripped on you about your lack of facial hair.
Well, it's something I've grown to live with, or not grown to live with.
Yeah. Heyo. Or lived with not growing.
Get back to your podcast.
All right. I think we've got just about everything. Of course, if they want to reach out to you, they can also reach you directly using which address there, Steve?
Go to birdiebash.com and hit contact and submit a question to me, and I'll throw it in the FAQs.
Okay. I think that's about it, really. I appreciate everyone that's logged in, and hopefully this was informational for everyone and it can be used as a resource. And I'll say, if you have other things, Steve, that you ever need to get out there, let us know. We appreciate that you're a huge supporter of SmashBoxxTV, and we look forward to covering the Birdie Bash Championships live in Climax, Michigan at the Am Worlds before it kicks off.
Thank you very much, Terry. It's been a pleasure, as always, seeing you and Johnny on my phone.
Oh, all right, buddy. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have here with Steve Dodge tonight, your super creator of the Vibram Birdie Bash and the Vibram Birdie Bash Championships. Steve worked for Vibram, if you haven't figured that out. And
he just runs away.
Steve out. Oh,
That's how you make an exit.
oh, okay, making his exit. Thank you, everyone, and we'll look forward to seeing you in Michigan at the Vibram Birdie Bash Championships. Till then, step inside the Smash Box.